Are we live? Welcome to another rendition of Too Early for This podcast. I believe this is episode 21. How you living? I'm living swell. It's your host and moderator, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast, and I'm coming to you guys live from Ghost to Ghost. It's your boy. I'm Chris the Don One. Please feel free to hit that subscription button, the notification bell. Make sure it says all and share this content with your friends, family, and followers. We want this YouTube podcast to be in the multi-dimensional YouTube algorithm universe. So let's just get the word out. Get the good word out on this podcast. All right. Too early for this podcast. How y'all living? Uh we're gonna be talking about I'm gonna talk about uh I got some, sometimes you sit back and you see things from a perspective, and we're going to talk about men and women. We're also going to be talking about the famous twins. I forgot to mention them on my last episode. I was supposed to mention them when I did the Kristen Rock and Blueface thing, but that just all right. Hello, yo, yo. Can y'all hear me? Hello. I'm just going to assume you guys can hear me. Hold on. Then unmute. There we go. We're back in there. We in there like last year. All right. So let's go ahead and get this podcast going. We're already 2 minutes in. This is going to be a very short episode. Also, this is not going to be the most viewed episode because this is a spur of the moment type of situation. Um, But I also like to dabble into different categories, particularly when I have a lot of thoughts in my mind. All right. So, peep this. So, I'm up here minding my own business. You know, I just got in my car. I was at a major retail store after getting some vittles and some things I needed around the house. Uh, I was just sitting in my car, just chilling. I had a meal. I was eating my meal, and another car pulled up next to me. Okay, it was a couple, a male and a female, a young couple, and I was just like down. I had my head down, just looking at my phone. Just you know, delegating what's going on social media. And as I looked up, and I felt like me and the lady that was in the other car with her man, it just felt like we both looked up at the same time. And as we both looked up at the same time, we met. We just saw each other eye to eye. It wasn't a lasting look. It wasn't a lurking type a look. I immediately just put my head down back into my phone. As I was doing that, she then turned to her boyfriend, maybe her husband. I don't know who this individual was, and said a few things. And when they got out of the car, well, when he got out of the car, he, I just got this sense that someone was looking at me. So I looked up. I said, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. So as I look up, he's looking at me, and he then gets out of the driver's side, walked all over to the passenger side, opened the door for the lady, and she got out. He shut the door, and then they went into the store and off their merry way. Now, like I said, I was eating my meal, just in my planogram, just planning things out. I stayed in the parking lot a little bit too long than I wanted to, but hey, I was really in no rush to go nowhere. And as I began to get all my stuff together, that same couple came back to their car, and I said, "Okay, cool." I start my car. I'm getting ready to check both sides to see if I'm able to pull my car out. But I briefly looked at them, and she got in her side. She opened her car door and got in her car, and he walked over to the driver's side and hopped in his car. And I felt like that was kind of odd and kind of peculiar. I mean, like 15 minutes ago, you walked out, or you walked from the driver's side to the passenger side to open the door for the lady, but you're not going to open the door to allow the lady to get back into the car. I thought that was kind of peculiar. I thought that was kind of odd, and that's what got me into this conversation about being a gentleman. And I feel like when guys open doors for women, or when guys, if on a rainy day they take their umbrella and give it to their lady, or just hold the umbrella above their lady to make sure they don't get wet. If there's a puddle, I've seen some guys literally pick their girl, and this is like in videos and stuff. I don't see this in real life. Literally pick their woman up, to make sure she doesn't get soaked in the puddle. The act of chivalry. Is chivalry dead? I remember Dave Chappelle did a joke about chivalry. Is chivalry dead? And the punchline is, yes, chivalry is dead, but women killed chivalry. It's not about being a gentleman. It's not about, it's not about going back into your youth. What your mama told you to how to treat a woman, what your father told you how to treat a woman. I think the act of chivalry and being a gentleman, it comes in waves. But realistically, if you look on social media, there's really not a lot of popular videos of men and their acts of chivalry, or men being gentlemen. In social media, the posts, the theme, the hashtags, the TikTok videos, the Snapchat videos, YouTube videos, YouTube shorts, they're always displaying how men treat women wrong. Men, how modern day men can't find a modern day woman, and this, that, and the third. Those are the more popular, ideal couple related type of stories and videos and things of that nature. And I said to myself, from that particular day, was that guy was demonstrating an act of chivalry towards his woman? Because and the reason why he did, because that was, he was taught that way, or he's just a nice gentleman, or he was demonstrating his act of chivalry as a show for other men. Did he do that because he was taught to do that? Did he do that because that was his initial intent of doing? Or did he do that because he thought he saw someone that was eyeing his woman, and just to show that male that she belongs to him, he's going to demonstrate that act of chivalry, saying, "Oh no, she's mine. I'm going to open the door for her." And once uh, you got a full understanding of that's her boyfriend, that's her man, he's going to return back to normal. The act of chivalry isn't dead. And depending on who you talk to, and opinion, it really depends on who you follow. Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul, R.I.P. Basically, his basic concept was women wanting to date high value men, and how high value men think of women. High value men don't think of women as equal partners, 50-50. High value men understand that they're going to be working a lot longer. They're going to be making the most money. And high value men have this concept in their head that they want their woman at home, going to the gym, staying fit, taking care of the kids. He doesn't mind if she goes shopping for herself. He doesn't mind if she goes on girl trips. He doesn't mind if she goes with her friends and go kick it. As long as her main function is to take care of her boo, her husband. She has to be the number one. He has to be number one on any woman that he perceives marriage material or dating material. And now, since we're in this new phase, I feel like the old traditional things that we were taught and raised to do are phasing out. I think being a gentleman, no matter if your man, you're supposed to be a gentleman. Your man, you're supposed to demonstrate these acts of chivalry. Your man, you're supposed to be her protector, no matter if you are related to her or not, no matter if y'all are married or not, no matter if you're boyfriend or girlfriend, you have to demonstrate these acts. I feel like those days are over with. I don't think there's a such thing as a concept of act of chivalry that you're going to do freely for a woman. It has to be a situation where both of you guys are involved, and it has to be a full understanding that he's the king of the relationship and you're the queen. Now, some women are going to listen to this or respond to whatever content provider is preaching this as he's female bashing. And like I said, Kevin Samuels, I think the lead attorney is getting sort of in this arena, since Kevin Samuels is no longer with us. God rest his soul. O'Shea Duke Jackson basically talk about this on and off, but he's been in the bag with the celebrity junk and all that stuff. A lot of guys are trying to fill the shoes of a Kevin Samuels, and they're taking these lessons that they gathered from Kevin Samuels and applying it to their YouTube channels. And they're still preaching this course. But the act of chivalry, is it dead? I feel like it is. But I feel like the act of chivalry still exists somewhat, but it's at a price. If you want a man to continue to demonstrate acts of chivalry, then it's a beneficial contract that if he's demonstrating these acts of chivalry, then you're going to have to demonstrate things for him as well as being a modern woman. You can't be the aggressor of the relationship. You have a say so, but your say so is not as potent as his say so. In a high value relationship, he's he's the king, you're the follower. He's still going to allow you to say whatever you want to say, but at the end of the day, he makes the final call. I feel like a lot of women, I feel like there's some women that's on board with that. And then I also feel like there are some women that are willing to be on board with that. But I feel like there's a small percentage of women that have bigger platforms, they have a bigger voice in social media that's totally against that. They're totally pushing that against that narrative. And if you look at them, if you just peel back the layers and look at these women that are totally against this concept, what do they all have in common? They all have in common that, they're still single. No worthy man is going to tie their wagon to them. And every time they make they make content or make a post or they tweet something, it's always in high regard, very negative towards men and bigging up women. A lot of women like Brittany Reynolds, she doesn't believe that you have to have she doesn't believe that two parents can do more than a single parent. And she will go literally as far as, the baby daddy not being involved in the child's relationship, and that's okay with her. I feel like that's okay with a small percentage of women out there. And to that I say, there's no wrong and right way in raising your kids, but I do feel like you can raise your kid as a single parent, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's the number one priority in raising a kid. Obviously, to make sure that kid is healthy physically, mentally, that kid is willing and able and ready for the challenges when they no longer a kid, when they go into society. I feel like that child, you're teaching and practicing and enforcing that child how to be independent, how to take care of themselves. And I feel like you need the male as well as the female to do that. I don't think a single parent, no matter if it's the female or if it's the baby daddy, I don't feel like a single parent can give the enrichment to a child that's going to be more valuable than a traditional parent setup. Now that you can co-parent, I feel like if the ideal is both the mother and the father being in the house raising their child. That's the ideal situation. That is the best situation. And then, co-parenting, if the mama and the daddy doesn't want to live together, then obviously co-parenting is the second best thing, but it's not as high in the ladder as just being having both of them involved in the household. And then it's single parenting. If you look at the statistics, Kids that are raised in single parent households, they're at a disadvantage versus the kids who have both of their parents in the house. Now, it's not uh 1000% accurate. It's not you know the it's not, you can see, I can, yes, you can pull cases where you can have both parents in the house and they don't do, they don't help nor develop the growth and the development of that child. Yes, but there's also that same stat you can flip around to single parents, and it's not a guarantee that that child is going to get the best resources from a single parent. And then that's what spawns these kids, and they become teenagers, and these kids that becoming teenagers become adults. And now you have all of this uh, white noise, because you have to look at their situations. Um, and I know I'm stepping away from the actual conversation, but chivalry, I feel like chivalry is dying because there's no need to be to demonstrate acts of chivalry, because women feel like they can open up their own doors. Women feel like they don't really necessarily need a man to demonstrate acts of chivalry, because it really doesn't apply into their relationship being very beneficial in their relationship. A woman, low key, a lot of women would rather have a man that doesn't demonstrate acts of chivalry, but that man can be a protector, a provider, and women is cool with that. And women are cool with men like that with those type of limitations, versus having a man that demonstrates acts of chivalry but is lacking in other resources. So women often say this in podcasts and on in social media. They would prefer to have a man uh, be more beneficial in the areas they want that man in than you know being concerned whether or not he's going to demonstrate acts of chivalry or being a gentleman. So that was just something that I was just, thinking about as I was in the parking lot. I know it's just a random thought. I know it's not going to be the most popular thought. Hit the comments in the comment section. Tell me what you think about that. If y'all want me to continue to talk more about relationships and things of that nature, feel free to hit the comment section, okay? And we're just going to go ahead and slide into the famous twins. These young ladies I was supposed to talk about a while back. I'm going to mute the mic. Let me give me like a minute, a full solid minute, and we'll get into that take. Hold on. All right, we're back. We're back. See, exactly a minute. All right. So let's get into the famous twins. Now, I was supposed to talk about these two young ladies, and I'm using lady loosely. Um, I was supposed to talk about them in the last episode, and I was going to, because I immediately started going and talking to you guys about Kristen Rock and Blueface relationship, which, by the way, they was on another podcast on Revolt, and Jason Lee did an interview. I felt like Jason Lee got them stable, got them sort of more focused than the No Jumper interview. They was trying to contain them, but Sharp as well as Gina, couldn't wrangle either Blueface nor Kristen Rock. And cornered them and get a half decent interview. I felt like Jason Lee did a better job with them when they were on his show. So go check that out. It's on Revolt. So go check that interview with Kristen Rock and Blueface. But we're not talking about that. I spent like an hour, almost 2 hours talking about them two crazy fools. I got two more crazy fools we're going to talk about, and that's the famous twins. So, been living on the rock, allow your boy to explain. But basically, the famous twins is these sisters who garnered national attention on social media. I feel like the traditional media may not know them. Maybe in the county that they live in, they're more recognizable there. But I feel like their real domain is social media. Everyone knows the famous twins. They have a YouTube channel. I think they still have a TikTok account, an Instagram account. I don't know if they have one or not. I don't necessarily follow them. But these two girls, these two sisters, once again, were in the news for all the wrong reasons. They got one of the sisters, well, both of them got arrested. And I'm telling you, this last arrest, you could tell, like there's one sister that smiles in all her mugshots because she thinks this stuff is cute. She thinks this stuff is adorable. She thinks this stuff is funny. Getting arrested, getting booked, going to jail. She thinks all of this stuff is just play. She smiles through all her mugshots. There's one mugshot. I think it was this particular mugshot, and I'm gonna try to find that mugshot and post it as a thumbnail. She was about to just explode laughing as they took the mugshot. Like if whoever was taking the picture, if they would have waited 2 more seconds before taking the picture, that picture would have came out a lot different. You would have seen her just bawling out, dying, laughing, because she thinks her situation is the most funniest thing on the planet. All right. Now, the other one, she always is in a stoic demeanor, like, she is not feeling this situation, not at all. And you could tell what stress and pressure do to anybody, because the other sister still looks the same, like when she got arrested the first time, because she's always laughing and think this is a joke. But the other sister, Lord have mercy, the other sister is growing older right before our eyes. She done went from, I think they're in their 20s. If you look at their last mugshot, it looked like she's in her 40s. It looked like she already had 2 kids. She's smoking on a Black and Mild. And when she doesn't have a Black and Mild, she got to have a Cool Filter King in her mouth. She looks like she's ready. She's done with it. She is done with this. All right. This attention is just eating her up. You can just tell, just look in her eyes, look at her mugshot. And the reason why I want to talk about these two girls is not the fact of what they was booked and charged for. It's the fact that these two women, well, I should say, well, these two women, I shouldn't call them girls, but I know they're older than 18. Just put it that way. These two women are a clear-cut example of this is what a lot of women want to strive to be. They want to be the ratchet girl, the ratchet woman that don't give 2 F's, 0 F's is given. The one that wants to demonstrate attitude is more of an enhancement than just having a personality. This is the dawning of believing everything you read, hear, and see on reality TV, these ratchet reality TV shows. You know, Desperate Housewives and the Real Housewives, or whatever state you want to put at the bottom, those shows are nothing compared to Bad Girls Club, a lot of these baddie type clubs. This is pretty much poisoning a lot of minds and delusion, and a lot of delusional thought of these women thinking I'm popular and I'm attractive because I could demonstrate, because I have attitude. I'm ready to, beat up on somebody. I don't give 0 F's about anyone or anything. And I'm more attractive this way than, my actual personality, than my actual beauty. And this is the new wave. Like it or not, love it or hate it, this is the new concept in a lot of these women moving forward. And I feel like the Famous Twins this is not going to end well with the Famous Twins. And I feel like a lot of people are along for the ride for the Famous Twins. But when it comes to a halt and it comes crashing down, these same women that thought that this was cute, that that art is imitating life, that wants to apply something that the Famous Twins are doing and apply it to their own lives, when this comes crashing down, it's going to spawn and birth other type of women that believe in this same concept. I mean, if you go on Instagram, the most popular influencers are influencers that have that ratchet demeanor type of attitude. And it could be a gift and a curse. As a man, it could be a gift and a curse, because we don't have to invest into these women. It's not like we got to see these women every single day. Whenever we're on Instagram, we'll just scroll and look at what they're wearing, look at their photos, look at their videos, and maybe occasionally go on their live streams. But we keep it pushing on our normal everyday lives. It's not like we are tied down to these types of women. But more traditional women, there's really no market for them. There's really no spotlight for them on Instagram. Because if you don't demonstrate this type of behavior on your platform, on your page, you're not going to be very successful. Now, there are rare examples of women that don't demonstrate this type of behavior, like the Famous Twins or Tommy, any of those girls. And they just do their own thing. They get their likes, they get their views, they get their subscribers, they get their followers. But those are rare. But I've seen a lot of women on Instagram that don't demonstrate or promote this type of behavior, but they're not popular. They're not popular on Instagram. And it's because of two things. Instagram's algorithm is all jacked up. First and foremost, I don't care what anybody say. Instagram's algorithm is all jacked up because Instagram algorithm goes by how many likes and an abundance of content influencers that's demonstrating this type of content. And then the algorithm says, okay, this has got to be the best thing smoking because a lot of people are subscribing to these pages. A lot of people are liking these pages and a lot of people are sharing these pages. So it's got to be popular, right? Even though you can utilize that narrative, but it shouldn't be the overall reason why you promote these platforms. Now, no matter what anybody says about YouTube, I have my thoughts and concerns about YouTube, but I feel like YouTube algorithm is an equal opportunity. It's about, if you want to blow up on YouTube, and you don't want to, copy and paste what everybody else is doing, if you got some decent content, if you film some decent content, people are going to find your page. If, YouTube is allowing a lot of people out there to make money and get famous on YouTube. With Instagram, it's not like that way. It's like whatever is the best thing smoking, whatever is popping, that's what we're going to gravitate to. So, I wanted to talk briefly about that. I spent a lot of time talking about the famous twins, but I wanted to talk about the famous twins, but for a different reason. And when the famous twins as well as Shivery, I feel like those two conversations can go together like peanut butter and jelly, or chocolate and peanut butter. Chocolate and peanut butter makes twits. I feel like they go hand in hand because the more people embrace women with attitudes, and the more people embrace, I want a man to be more capable of, taking care of me, of, putting me to, going, the financial side of a man is more important than, does this man have emotions for you? Does this man truly care about you? Does this man love you? Can he take care of me? Can he protect me? Are the only two qualifications a lot of women want to have. And that's why you have these situations, particularly in relationships, when that man is no longer making the same type of dividends he was making when he first met you, or something done came along where his dividends are going to have to take care of something. And then you have these fallouts in the relationship. And sometimes these fallouts don't end well. I don't know if you guys been watching the news, but, there was a doctor that pretty much deleted his wife because his wife wanted a divorce. The earlier this week, there was an older Korean man that was shooting up people in dance studios because he was a disgruntled type of person that couldn't handle rejection. Everything's cool when, everything is breezy when you're getting money off of them, when you get what you want out of that individual, but that individual is not getting nothing out of you. And the one thing that's keeping him insane, you just pull it from him. Then you have these types of situations in life. But it's like the world is getting real strange and crazy as it goes on. And I feel like the rise of violence, the rise of disrespect, is the downfall of chivalry, is the downfall of finding true love, is the downfall of being in love or being around someone that respects you, that respect your opinion. That, those types of, even though those types of values, even though they're real small in stature, but they're still important if you want a healthy relationship. And so the famous twins and chivalry being dead, they can go hand to hand, because you got women on one side that really don't think chivalry is high in the priority list. That's being respectful to them is high on the priority list. That's allowing them to have an opinion or say an opinion is not high on the priority list. Or being 50-50 partners in the relationship is not high on the priority list. What's high on the priority list is this man going to be able to take care of me? Is this man going to take me to places that I couldn't do on my lonesome or when I was with someone else? Is this man going to buy me what I want? And I'm willing to sacrifice my self-respect. I'm willing to sacrifice not being a 50-50 partner in this relationship or making decisions in this relationship. I'm willing to sacrifice all and above and the acts of chivalry as long as he meets the boxes that I cross. I feel like the boxes that you want to cross are important, but these little smaller boxes need to be crossed as well. And if a man is not crossing everything that's important in your box, then why give up the box? I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, you get what you pay for. I mean, if you lay down and sleep with a snake, don't be surprised if that snake bites you. And then when it's all over and done with, or y'all have a fallout, the first thing women do is what? They complain and they talk about how men are evil and men disrespect one another, disrespect them, and don't think that they're important in the relationship. They want them to be quiet. They're very controlling. And that's why you have these types of relationships, and you have the fallback from these relationships where these women take social media and they go, the reason why we're no longer together is he did not respect me. He was very controlling. Well, he was very controlling when y'all first started dating. It wasn't an issue then, because why? You sacrificed him controlling you. You allowed him to control you because you was being taken care of. And when he stopped taking care of you, or he's looking for someone else, now all of a sudden being controlling is a bad thing. You knew that when you first paired up with them. I feel like in relationships, both sides need to take some responsibility on why the relationship fell out. It's not all her fault and it's not all his fault. Because, and I know a lot of people are going to say, look, hey, Chris, how can you say that when she sacrificed her self respect? She pretty much sacrificed her ability to be a partner in this relationship. Yeah, but she sacrificed those things because those things were not important to her. And she accepted his behavior and his attitude because as long as he can take care of her, as long as he can get her all the jewelry and the finer clothes and the finer things of life, the finer things in life, it comes at a huge cost. And a lot of women say okay with it, but they're a year, 2 years, maybe 5 years in, they go like, wait a minute, why did I sacrifice all this just to be here? Some women will continue to sacrifice as long as they're getting something out of the relationship. Other women have enough common sense to say, well, you know what, this is not work. This is not for me. I thought it was, but it wasn't for me. So yeah. So that I want to talk briefly about, because I forgot to talk about it, the famous twins, and I was going to get into this type of conversation, but I'm glad I talked about it. Other little tidbits, news and notes, since nobody put a comment in. Really do appreciate people coming in and out of the live stream. Like I said, this is not going to be a really popular live stream. I know this, all right? But it is what it is. But in other news and notes, Ed Reed and Shannon Sharpe is going at each other. Apparently, Ed Reed got a college gig and wasn't happy with his situation over there, so he decided to expose and give the truth on social media by taking pictures and videos and live streams. And then the university had no choice but to take the job away from him. Ed Reed, look, Shannon Sharpe said basically, that's going on in all HBCU campuses. But you should have some sense and some idea that it's not like you're going to the University of Miami. It's not like you're going to the Ohio State University. It's not like you're going to Notre Dame, or Alabama. You got your top tier colleges, and then you got your bottom tier. And he clearly was going to a bottom tier school, a bottom tier football team. So when he was upset that they had the track, the football field was not up to his standards, well, then what in the hell did you expect? Okay, you're at the bottom low end tier of a college that no one cares about. No one in the Black community cares about this college. You know how I know that? Because no one is pumping money, funneling money into this college like they do the other big 5-star colleges. It's just that simple. I don't know what Ed Reed was expecting. They probably did promise you the sun, the moon, the stars, and everything just to get you to sign the name on the dotted line and become the next football coach. But you should have known that there was already dysfunction at this place when the AD is the same guy as the head coach of the head basketball coach of that college. So you should have been at least smart enough to know, like, wait a minute, this is not a normal thing. Because the University of Miami the University of Miami didn't do this, where the AD is the same person that's the head basketball coach. It doesn't work like that. But Ed Reed, you should have took a temperature of the room. But I'm shocked and surprised that you're shocked and surprised, Ed. But him and Shannon Sharpe direct message one of them. Look, I'm all for. I feel like we as Black people, there's two issues I have with us as Black people. One, we always want everything to be right all the time, every time, and we want it instantly. We don't want to wait on it, okay? We're like 90-second rice. Anyone heard of 90-second rice? 90-second rice is rice that you put in the microwave, and in 90 seconds, it's going to be ready to eat. And that's how we as Black people think about, we don't mind struggling, but we only want to struggle for 90 seconds. Sometimes it takes time to change a dysfunctional organization that the African American community is not buying into. They're not, they're not pumping any money into this university. It takes time. It may take your whole time as the head football coach just to get it point in the right direction. And then when the next head football coach in, he still has he has a way to go. So one, we always like to have everything instant. As soon as we get there, it should have been, we want it right as soon as we touch down at this place. And it doesn't work that way. You got to have patience. It's going to take time. Number two, I feel like we as Black people, we love to expose stuff to social media to prove that we were right. We love to expose, and we don't even, go talk to the person that we have an issue with, maybe hammer it out, talk to them, and then if that doesn't work, I can see you taking the social media and go that route. I mean, you done explored all options. It's not working. All right. Then I can understand you going to social media and exposing. I could probably co-sign it a little bit. But what Ed Reed did was, nah, fam. I'm exposing them. But Ed, we all knew that this college was going to be very hard for this college to, get it up to standards. It was going to be very hard for this college to get it up to standards. It was going to take a while. This was not going to be instant rice where it's done in 90 seconds. It's going to take a little time and patience. All right. Everyone knew that on the outside looking in. I don't know why Ed Reed didn't see it that way, but hey, it is what it is. I'm pretty sure, he's, from the videos I have seen and his live stream, I still don't understand why Ed Reed thought that all this was going to change the minute he accepted the job. It's just going to take time, dog. It doesn't work the way you think it's going to work. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about on that. Like I said, if y'all want me to continue relationship, I don't want to consider it relationship advice, but I feel like men and women, like there was a book that says men are from Mars, but women are from Venus. I feel like that is very, very true. I feel like if you have a man and a woman in a room and you tell them to look at a picture, that man is going to have a complete different understanding about that picture than that woman. Now, it's going to be a case where that man and that woman will agree that picture is what that picture is. And I feel like the only way they're going to be in agreement if they had some type of history with one another. In other words, that man understands how that woman, that particular woman is thinking, and vice versa. That she's going to have some type of understanding on how he thinks, and they're going to come to the conclusion. But if you got two different strangers, a male and a female, and you tell them, describe the picture for me, and like maybe if you have them in two separate rooms, you're going to get two separate concepts. And I feel like men and women are like that way. I feel like men and women view relationships a little bit differently. I feel like with men, the high the things that are top on their list is, men are visual. Men like a good looking woman. All right. She got to have some body attributes that they recognize instantly. She's got to be sweet. She had to demonstrate a sweet demeanor. She can't be masculine. That's a huge turnoff for men. Men do not want a masculine type of female. A sweet, fresh, feminine of a type of female. That's what a man wants from a woman, and that's the beginning blocks of a guy can build right off that woman, because she can have that, but she probably not good in bed. But that man can accept that, because like I said, he can sort of fix that. All right. Particularly he's a high value man. Maybe she goes on a couple of classes on how to how to please her partner, maybe read a book, a video, whatever. She can build on that. For a woman, and this is today's woman and today's man. For a woman in today, she wants a man that's going to provide for her and protect her. Those are the two strongest attributes, the two biggest building blocks a woman wants from a man. And if he's, and if he can do that very well, there are some things she don't mind working on, but other things, if she has other available men that she can go to, she'll probably go to them. That's not a total rebuild, not a total reboot. But if this is the one and only, she could she could build off that. I feel like if a man don't show affection to a woman, I'm not saying affection is high on their list, but a woman can build off that. A woman can, if he's a learner, a woman can say, "Hey, look, you need to be more affectionate. You're gonna have to demonstrate your emotions, and this is what you can do. This, that, and the third. You can, I feel like a modern day woman can build off that, just like a modern day man can build off this. But there are some things that are out of bounds that they're not going to wait and build off of. I feel like men, as far as a woman goes, I feel like you have to be looking a certain way that turns him on, that attracts him to you. And if you are not doing that, he's going to go to someone else. He's either going to cheat on you, or he's just going to leave you. I mean, there's a certain demeanor and a certain look. You have to keep your man happy, because if you have a high value man and you're not keeping up your upkeep, there's going to be women in your neighborhood, women that when y'all go to a restaurant or a shopping center or wherever, they're going to be competition, if because they're taking care of their upkeep, but you're not. All right. And for a man, if you can't provide for your woman every time you're in the neighborhood, taking out trash, or if y'all outside out and about with your neighbors, and she looking around, and the men in y'all neighborhood are taking care of their women's financially. If you go to a restaurant, she just give you subtle hints. There's just certain things a woman is not going to tolerate. Just like there are some certain things men are not going to tolerate, particularly if you are high value. Now, this argument does not apply to average or below average people. Only high value people demand and garner this type of acceptance. I think if you're average or below average, you're going to put up with a lot of things with your partner. So, that's all I got. So, no one in the comment section. Like I said, I feel like this video is going to be my lowest viewed video. It's going to be one of them videos where I'm going to decide whether or not to even keep it up on the channel. But I'm going to keep it up on the channel. If it gets 5 views, if it gets 10 views, I'm still going to keep it up there. Would be nice if you guys comment in the comment section. Tell me what you want from me moving forward. If you like content like this, if you like talking about social media influencers and YouTube content creators, I can still do that. As far as the OnlyFans go, that content is probably going to go back to my podcast. I'm Chris Don One Podcast. Which, by the way, I got an episode already up on The Last of Us episode 1, and episode 2 is going to premiere next Saturday. So feel free to look at those episodes. And I've been looking at the rankings of The Last of Us reviews, and they're not getting any type of they're not getting a large. Not a lot of people are into them. Just put it that way. And yeah, that's it. So I might go back to the OnlyFans next Saturday. I'm gonna record a episode for not this upcoming Saturday, but next Saturday. That's going to be OnlyFans related. So yeah, the OnlyFans content on YouTube is spotty at best. Some of the videos are deemed family friendly, and they get you know, they get recognized, and YouTube's put them in the algorithm, and there's ads on them. I don't know what the hell that guy was doing. But the other ones, they get no ad play. YouTube buries them. So I don't even look at this fool. Anyway, yeah, so that's it. So all the OnlyFans content is going to be on my podcast, and you can go listen to that. It's on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcast indulgement from. Just type I'm Chris the Don One. Time you type in I'm Chris the Don One, you're going to see it. I'm Chris the Don One podcast. It's the only podcast with that type of name. I think I tried to create an I'm Chris the Don One account. So when you search it, well, if you're on the Anchor app, it's going to show you two different I'm Chris the Don Ones, but one of them says podcast. If you search it on Spotify and iTunes, it's going to pull up. All right, so go check that out at your leisure. Also, on my comedy channel, I'm going to have a brand new video premiering tonight. Go check that video out. I'm going to promote it on my Twitter page. Also subscribe to all of my YouTube channels, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Just, I got all of the links in the description, so go check that out. It's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast, and I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. It's your boy. I'm up out of here. I will see y'all on the flip side of things, which will be next week, and we'll be chopping up with some more content. I'll holler at y'all guys later. Deuces, outro.